All right. I'm sure you guys have questions for it, and DJ and I were talking about it before.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Okay, hold on. All right, welcome to another Field to Food Table Talk episode. First off, I think we should probably throw a thank you out to our pro staff, Tethered, because they hooked DJ here up with a pre-discounted saddle setup because we're going to be filming in late January for a hunt together. And I called them and let them know what the sitch was, and they were like, yeah, hook them up. So thank you, Tethered.
Yeah, thank you. Should have it tomorrow. Pretty excited. I think I'm going to hunt with it Friday.
Yeah.
There you go.
First time in a saddle. I'm excited.
All right, so the topic is I just got back from a quick hunt down south in southern Ohio, and late October hunt. We had a cold front, lost it. It's almost 80, if not touched 80 today.
I was getting 79 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. But was it the second night that I was down there that I'd texted you guys, I think? It
was Monday.
Monday?
Yep.
The lay of the land.
That was first night. Okay. So second night's when I texted you guys and I said...
All about passing them.
I just passed the 13 point.
What are you, nuts?
Yeah, I remember getting that and I'm like, would you guys pass up a 13 point? Like, Dane, I've never had a 13 point to pass up.
I'm old school where it's like, if a deer's big, I don't care how old he is, if he's big enough, I'm shooting that deer.
Yeah. I'm with Dane, so we got a split table.
Yeah, so it was a matter of an age thing for me. I had this deer on camera for the last probably 10 days. I didn't have him. I was running cameras in there all October. I did not have him until the second half of October.
He moved in that early pre-rut.
I'm sure he's going to be rutting there. Like, that's guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. There's probably going to be a few deer rutting there because with the lay of that land.
Yeah. On camera, I was like, I'm going to smoke that deer. If I see him, he's done. I never had a good body shot, but he was a funky 13.
Yeah, he had a lot of jump going on.
Trashy, just every which direction. And
he's one of those deer that I think could put on 30 to 40 inches in a year.
Yeah,
truthfully.
If he's as young as you think he is, he's gonna blow up.
So you guys haven't seen the video yet. You got here early enough to where we watched it. I was kind of hunting, kind of scouting at the same time. I'm just going to do a quick story so we don't take up too much of the podcast time for it. But I got stuck on the ground behind a bunch of goldenrod, and I look up, and this deer is 150 yards, bottlenecking me, coming straight to a cattle trough because it was hot. He was thirsty. Makes total sense. So I duck down. He sees the movement. He goes back up into the bedding. I see him peek out once or twice. Couldn't catch that on camera because I'm set up to actually go up in a tree. I don't have my tripod.
Yeah.
I have to put my GoPro on my head. Like, this was not the hunt I was planning on, but I just kind of got stuck here. So he comes back down. I eye him up. I draw back twice on him. And the first time, I'm like, all right, ready to go. 13 point. I want this deer. And I was looking at his body. I'm like, okay, that's a 3-year-old. And I hold it for a long time. I'm debating and whatnot. He moves off a little bit more to the south. He actually gets to 25. I draw back again, thinking like, I have a 13 point. I would like another. And then the 13 point that I got, I was telling DJ, like, that was a definite 3-year-old. And every time I look at that mountain, I'm like, that's a nice deer. But that's not as nice as he could have been.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at personally now. Mm-hmm. So, pass. Hard pass, but pass.
That's fair.
Yeah, it is. And it was a pretty... You got a lot of shit for it, I think, in the group. Not a lot, but guys were just like, your brother's like,
brother, you're an idiot. And then he sent LOL. Like, oh, that was harsh. I thought that was funny.
No, I agree with you though. Now, it's gonna suck if the neighbor kills him in a week.
Yeah, but dead deer don't grow.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. But if that deer makes it another year,
he's going to be huge.
You're looking.
You're going to be.
He kind of had that telltale sign. He's not really heavy yet.
No. Yeah,
he was spindly.
He's immature.
So
he's just.
He puts mass on that rat. He's gonna. Yeah. He's putting some inches on.
Yeah,
he just has it going on.
There's a group of guys that we talk to all the time, the Venari guys, and I texted them a photo of that, and they said that's going to be a 200-inch deer. Yeah, and I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I mean, he's already. We just got that one trail camera photo we saw, and I mean, he looked easy mid 140s.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, he looked mid 140s
Yeah, I'd say
already.
he's 140, 145.
Yeah.
And I think that deer I'll be curious to see next year, hopefully.
I bet you he gets to 160 easy.
I bet you he's bigger.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
For him to look the way he
60's
does
on the
now.
low end of that, but if he puts mass on, he's going to...
Yeah. I'll bet you he's a 170 next year. 170 to 180.
The guy that I hunt with down there...
He just has the genetics.
The guy that I hunt with down there, he said he would smoke him. And I'm like, that'd be your biggest deer by far.
Yeah.
I'm like, go for it. Like, it's not my deer. We've had this conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not gonna. Obviously, I passed him once. I'm not gonna see him again and then shoot him.
And not that the rack matters. It really doesn't. But you've already killed deer bigger than that.
It's beating an older deer. That's the fun for me now.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at. Like the deer the deer right now that I'm have my heart set on is probably 135 inch 10 point.
Is it?
He's just old.
But I'm telling you, this deer weighs 300 pounds. I think I've sent it in the group chat. It's huge. His rack
I'm a
is
meat
not
guy.
that big.
I don't care.
It's the biggest bodied deer that I've ever had pictures of. I haven't seen him in person yet, but that's a deer I want to kill. And I have deer on that same property that are probably 145 inch deer. But I'm with you. I think they're 3-year-old deer.
Yeah.
And they
A lot of
be
potential
really big
left.
one day. Yeah, they can be really big. And if I had never killed a 140 inch deer, I would shoot that 3-year-old 140 inch deer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would never judge anybody for doing that.
Yeah.
But I've killed bigger deer than that. I want to kill an old mature deer.
There you go.
Whether it's a 160 or a 130.
It's your tag.
And
You
this
feel it
year
however
I'm gonna-
you want, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to kill a 135 inch 10 point that I think is.
But the brag,
300
but
pounds
like the quote unquote brag there is, he's not 135 inch 10 point. He's a 6, 7 and a half, 8.5 year old deer.
Yeah.
He's been around the block so many times. He probably knows all the tricks in the book.
Yeah.
So if you outsmart something like that, that's saying something.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll send you a picture, which you already have them, but put a picture of that deer, rack and everything. I don't care.
Okay.
Put it in there and
GPS
like,
coordinates, latitude, longitude, everything.
Drop a pin, bro.
Drop a pin.
But yeah, put it in there. Like that deer, that's the biggest deer I've ever seen. Had pictures of it, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen this deer.
I swear I sent it in the group chat.
I don't
Remember, I know I sent it to you guys.
You might have.
We'll pull it up
It's
after.
freaking huge.
Hold up after Nick.
Fine.
So
Body wise,
But see, like me, like I'd be more stoked about 300 pounds. I'm a meat guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
I really don't get a huge desire to shoot a buck. Like I'm hungry.
where are you at this year? You got a nice 8 last year. Mm-hmm. Where are you at with the?
Yeah, are you holding off or something, or what are you doing?
Right now,
Season started off rough with the bow tear down the night before.
Yeah, but you're good to go now. It don't matter.
no. So what I plan on doing this year is, so last year I had gotten 3 deer, and I kind of realized like I had the freezer space.
Was last year your first year hunting?
Not my first year hunting, but like my first year like learning a new property, like
Yeah, kind of
getting everything set up and kind of doing
it
everything.
yourself.
Yeah. But I kind of realized like 3 deer it's kind of a lot.
That's a lot of meat.
It's a lot for me.
Yeah.
So like I started giving out to like friends and family. Like I even told my dad the processor that I go to. I was like, look, man, what do you want done? I'll tell him to cut it. And I was like, if you want to pay for like half the deer, that's fine. And I was like, if you want a deer, just let me know. And this year I was like, dude, I don't need 3 deer.
Yeah.
And I was like, someone in my family is just like, hey, I would like a deer. Okay, well, I'll try. But this year, like I planned on just getting a doe for just so I have a little more meat.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to hunt 1 buck. That was kind of my plan.
Is there
Try to pick a buck out.
Yeah.
Like I want to kill that deer.
target buck?
Yeah, I wanted to be kind of picky because like every year that I've hunted, I've gone up in size.
Yeah.
So the first buck that I ever shot was a little 3-point that was a little bigger than this, and his other antler was gone. It broke. And then the next year I shot a 6-point, and then the next year I shot an 8-point. So like this year I was like, well, I'd like to either shoot,
Thank you.
a slightly bigger like 8-point or see whatever else comes in, but I haven't really had any like bucks on the camera other than the 4-point. I had one that came in and I sent him a picture and he has it on their property too, but the thing is I've never had him come in during shooting time.
That's a big buck.
That's
that one I sent in the group chat. I was like, and you guys were like, he goes 160.
No, yeah.
He daylights occasionally on our place. I haven't been able to put a pattern on it.
Yeah.
It's just random.
That's a hard deer.
I've looked at moon, looked back at the pressure, looked back at the wind. It's just whenever he feels like it. But yeah, he's well, maybe that's not the same one. The other one, no, that's a different deer.
So
I know which deer that is, but I know
this is the biggest deer that I've had on my camera.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why, like the other day when I was like telling you guys, like I heard racks in front of me, but I couldn't see it. That's the reason I got down and like pulled the card and went home because I was like, this dude could have been 12 yards in front of me and I couldn't even see him.
If he was 12 yards rattling, you would have felt that.
That's a big
Because he's
deer.
not fighting a 4-point. I guarantee you that, dude.
Probably not.
That's a big deer.
Yeah, that's a good deer. Well, is that your target buck then?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
If I can actually get him to come out.
Well, when was the last time you had a photo of him?
That one?
That one?
Yep.
Was that?
October 5th.
There's a chance he could be right.
I just got him on that camera at that stand I shot that doe in, which was 150 yards away from his stand.
More recent than that.
Sunday evening, 20 minutes past legal.
Yeah, the other...
3 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna rut here.
Well, the other night, that's what...
He's been here all summer.
I tried to tell him the other night. This is kind of the story I was in, where I told you I stood up on the stand to get a little bit higher. Well, when I did that, like the stand kind of like had like settlement, so I kind of like started like pushing it down with my feet to get it to bite back into the tree. And then when I did that, I looked up, and I didn't ever really pay attention to the other side of the field because I never really have anything move there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a buck there, and like he was standing there so still for like 20 minutes. Like I literally thought like one of them like grabbed a decoy and like set it down and then like ran away. I legitimately thought it was fake because it did not move. There was no ear twitch, no nothing. It just didn't move.
Yeah.
And then finally it just kind of like turned and started walking. I'm like, oh damn, like
That was real.
I was like, where did that even come from? And then of course, I grabbed the boat. I'm like, because I couldn't tell the full like size, but I mean, like, looking at his antler, like I could tell like it was wide because I could distinctly see it, and I mean it had pretty significant curl to it. And I'm like, oh, come over here. I was like, even if I don't have a shot on you, just come closer so I can see what you are.
Yeah.
And he ended up going straight back into the swamp.
Smart deer.
And then I actually text him because that's where his stand is, and I'm like, hey, I just saw a buck in the field.
I was not at that stand that night.
That's
whole
what
end of the property.
I don't know what stand you're in tonight, but yeah, it walked straight back into the woods or into the swamp. But it never got close enough for me to actually see what it was. But it wasn't a small deer.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you have your work cut out for you for the year.
Yeah.
That's one of the benefits of having a full freezer, but target buck hunting is a curse. It's a blessing, but it's a curse.
I did it 1 year, and I never did it again because I took a week off. I had this deer pretty well pegged,
Yeah.
and I hunted like Thursday. I didn't hunt the weekend, and then Monday I had family come in town for that whole week to hunt. So I was like, oh, I'll just lay out of there, let the place cool off, and we'll go on Monday. Sometime during that 3 days, he moves a mile down the road to my buddy's place. My first day of vacation, my buddy shoots him at 7:30 in the morning.
Heartbroken. Kind of.
First, he was like, I shot a nice buck. I'm like, oh, really? He sends me a picture, and it's like very distinct, high, tight 8-point with a giant crab claw, and I'm like,
uh-oh.
I'm like, all right, well, he was running around with another buck. I'm like, all right, well, I'll hunt him. Never got him on camera. Landowner kills him in gun season. A mile down the road at my buddy's place. I'm like, okay, that hurts. I'm like, I passed so many bucks that year that I would have shot looking back. I'm like, all right, I'm not doing that again.
So